Hello, Linked HR. I'm Dr. Cris Wildermuth, your community chair, and this is our weekly Flash Learning. So this week, I'm going to continue talking about the meaningful leader. The meaningful leader is the leader who creates an engaging environment. And today I'm going to address a particular competency for the meaningful leader that has a very strong relationship to employee engagement. And that is leading for fit. So before I explain to you what leading for fit is, I'm going to ask you a question. Have you ever had a job that felt to you like it fit you like a glove? That your interests, your talents, your strengths, your experiences, everything seemed to fit. And if you can imagine yourself in that job, then think about what it meant, what it felt like. What we know about human beings is that when you give them too many challenges or a level of challenge that is too high compared to the amount of resources you have, that causes undue stress. And over time, that stress could lead to burnout. So one of the things that FIT does is it allows you to have the resources, your personal resources, your talents, your interests, your experiences that you need to do the job. Maybe not all the resources, because you always want to grow. You always want to be a little bit on the edge. And if you want to learn more about that, Dr. Csikszentmihalyi's, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Csikszentmihalyi, I think that's it. Excellent work on flow is fantastic. I'm going to include information on his book right on the screen. So back to fit. There are various types of fit. We can talk about person-environment fit, person-organization fit, but the type of fit I'm talking about today is specifically the person-job fit. So what is person-job fit? It is a close connection between the person and the job, basically speaking. So when the level of person-job fit is high, employees feel that they have the competencies, the talents, and even the personality traits that match their job. So, for example, if you are in a job that requires you to do a lot of networking, go to 1,000 networking events, and you're physically capable of networking, you know how to do it, but it's requiring so much of you, and maybe you're an introvert and you don't have the energy to do that all the time, then maybe that job is a poor fit from a personality perspective. In one of our last episodes, I talked about how you should never ever hire me as your CFO. Well, that's not so much a personality fit issue, even though maybe it is. It's more of a numeric talent issue. I just don't think in terms of numbers, and I don't have the competency or the experience that I would need to take a CFO job. So that would be a poor fit to me. So what does leading for fit mean? Leading for fit basically means assigning to followers responsibilities that match their abilities, and not only their abilities, but also their interests, their personality, their experiences, and so on. Leading for fit also means helping your followers uncover their unique strengths. So if you're a leader, ask yourself, how often do you have conversations with your followers about their strengths? How often do you ask your followers, what really gets you excited? What really gets you going? Are you really having those conversations with your followers? And if you don't have I'm hesitating to say a leadership role, because leaders, as you know, leadership is not the same thing as management and is not the same thing as authority. So you could be a leader without being a manager or without having any official authority at all. But let's go to official authority now. If you do not have official authority for others in your organization, in other words, if you don't have a managerial role of some sort, does your manager, your line manager, the person who supervises your work, has that person had that conversation with you? And if not, could you ask for one? So the other thing to consider here is this. Um, in spite of our wishes and hopes, of course, we all would like to be in a job that fit us 100%. And that, of course, is not possible. In any job, there are things that we don't like. I love being a professor. I think being a professor fits my abilities, my talent, my interests, my values perfectly. But there's paperwork involved, and I hate that. And there's correcting papers, and I cannot tell you how much I hate correcting papers. All my students know that. So, what do you do about the things that drain energy out of you, that are a poor fit? Well, that really depends on what we're talking about. If we're talking about a lack of energy because of personality issues, maybe it's a matter of managing how much of that the person is going to do, or what time of the day, or what time of the week, so that we don't do something that drains us when we're too tired. If it's a matter of developing, maybe it's something that we could go through training or development to learn more about it. Of course, one important question here is how big of a piece of the puzzle it is. Because if my entire job is, for example, I talked about being a CFO, how about being an organizer? And that's really not one of my strengths. Maybe I should be looking for another job. One thing that happens, though, from an HR standpoint, I think you will appreciate that, is that if somebody is not successful in a particular job, our tendency is not to try to find out if there's an alternative route for that person, if there's a way to either adjust that job for that person's strengths and maybe have some collaborative process with other team members, or to see if there are alternative routes for that person in another organization. Instead, we just lose that talent. So, my question to you from an HR perspective, and this is my question for the week, is in your organization or in organizations you've participated in the past or observed as a consultant, have you seen um, alternative routes for people to be successful? Have you ever seen processes in which people who are not a perfect fit in position X could have a perfect fit if some adjustments were made or could be recommended somewhere else instead of just labeled, this person is just not good, we're going to lose that history, we're going to lose that person? So that's my question for the week. I'm really interested in your answers. And in my blog, I'm going to add some more resources and recommendations so that you can learn more about this critical competency for the meaningful leader. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful week and happy learning.